to Cross Bars, the podcast where we discuss interesting topics with alternative perspective. I am your host, Big O. Have me with me here, with me.
Hey, Tanae is back in the building one more time with no other than Mr. Master Professional Percussionist, Mr. Mike Clemons. Give it up, give it up, give it up for Mike Clemons, y'all. Give it up, give it up.
What's up? What's up?
Miggity Mike Clemons. All right, so Mr. Mike Clemons, tell us, how would people recognize you as far as your talent? How does the world recognize your talent?
How do they?
Yeah.
I'm known for a few things. I'm known to be a world traveler, professional drummer. I've drummed for Usher, one of my biggest tours, Usher 8701 tour and DVD. I've done that. Mary J. Blige live album, the tour is called the tour, the live album that I did with her.
Was that in the late 90s, right?
That was, I want to say, no, not 9, it was 07, I want to say. 06.
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, I was thinking that was Share My World.
Well, you know what? Yeah, now I think about it. I got graduated in 94. Around 90, you're right, because I did the Share My World. I did a tour with her.
Ooh, that was the joint.
Those were.
Oh, don't let him get.
Like, wait a minute, sir.
My time is off a little bit. I'm getting older. That Usher 8701, Israel Houghton. I was with him for about 7 years. I did like 3 or 4 albums with him. Okay. My last album I did with him was Jesus at the Center album at Lakewood. So those are a couple things that, as far as the percussion drum side that people know me from. Also produced the song on Mary J. Blige called Give Me You, Drew Hill.
And the list goes on, man.
My fans, there's just a few things out there. I'm blessed, man. I can't, me and my brother, who's been my production partner for many years, and we're blessed. I can't complain. Like, God has been good, even through the ups and downs. Like, it's what it is.
Yeah. Listen, I'm listening to what you were saying, and you also you write music.
Yes.
Okay, because I'm not so privileged to be a writer. I know Tanae is, but I'm not. I thought most writers would be like the lead or like the pianist or even the guitar. But you being a percussionist, percussionists are known to keep time. But you was like, no, I'm a writer also. I was like, whoa, wait a minute, y'all usually the wild child.
Right. It's a gift. To me, some of the greatest. I know some other drummers who are great drummers, who are producers. I think when I always had an ear of hearing all the instruments.
Producer, but
writing the singer, hearing, like I've always had that gift. So when I listen to stuff, I listen to it from a different point of view than maybe the average drummer would. But I think it's cool because it allowed me to expand my musical ear and also to just grow to that production side and grow. I always wanted to be more than just a drummer. I think drums was the introduction to things and the first love. But then it's like, watching my brother, he plays 3-4 instruments and stuff like that. I think it just made me want more, and I just, so I always listen to all types of music, and it's always, the horn lines and all kind of singers, that always, I always took to that. So.
Okay. How many instruments do you play?
1. But here's the thing. I've only played 1 instrument, but I can, by my ear, I know when you're playing something wrong. Like I know when the keyboard player is playing the wrong note.
Oh, you one of them James Brown musicians.
Yeah, I'm one of them like that ain't right. Or because I've been an MD, a music director for some of these groups that I've named, it's just I know how to create a show. I know how to do so. I've always been, like I said, like just kind of deeper than just the beat side. So it expanded my ear to hear. I could hear what's off. Even singing, I could always hear it, something's off, and I could hear when something's off, and I know what the something is.
Right.
I see.
Wow.
Question. Where are you originally from?
I'm from Connecticut, Stratford, Connecticut.
You from home of the student loans? All right, Stratford, Connecticut. Holy moly! All right, so now I would say Stratford is up there by Middleton, Connecticut, correct?
Yeah, Bridgeport, Stratford, Middleton, Waterbury.
Waterbury. All right. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of familiar up there. Party up there. You know what I'm saying?
This guy.
Haven,
This guy.
Hartford.
This guy.
No, Harvard. No, there's a little gun right there.
That's
All
right.
right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. What's the Jazzy George? She used to do parties up there.
Oh wow.
Oh, she's a DJ, right? Was she a DJ? Yeah.
Hold on, wait. Hold up. Do you know who Jazzy Joyce is, Jay, tonight?
Yeah, DJ Jazzy Joyce. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because you
I
said
just
that.
hadn't heard her name in a while. I'm like,
Mm,
that's what you're talking about.
all right.
Okay, moving right along.
We better take a card. Okay. Moving along though. All right, Stratford, Connecticut. Went to school up there, and tell me about your lifestyle upbringing. Middle class, or was it like peanut butter jelly and syrup sandwiches, or you was like, you know what, my parents did their thing. I was well traveled as a youth, and then went to college, or I didn't go to college, and the parents was mad, but you made a living for yourself, so they kind of had accepted. Which one was it? All the musicians come from one of those patterns.
I had a good life. Growing
go.
up, we never wanted for nothing. Grew up in a home, 2-parent home for a while. Yeah, I don't have the story of, grew up in the hood, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Right.
I don't have that same story. I was a spoiled child.
And nothing
Do you have
wrong with
siblings?
having
Is
a
it just
two-parent
you?
household and
Do
being
you
a spoiled
have-
child either.
I
Let's say that.
have siblings. It's me, my brother. I'm the youngest, so I was a spoiled one.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
And then my brother, he's 3 years older than me, than my sister. So we all grew up together. And it was cool. Like, I pretty much, was able to do a lot. My mom was very into church. Back then it was like real strict because, you're dealing with
Mm-hmm.
today's church. Back then,
Yes.
it's long skirts,
All of that. No
gone through
makeup, no
transition.
earrings.
None of that. See what I'm saying? And I've gone through that transition
Yes.
of watching her go from that to what today is, and she,
Mhm.
she arrived well, evolved, how you say it, well.
Right.
Gotcha.
And she's just like really cool. She's not extra deep, she that's my heart, man. And so we, as a family, we've always been to church. That's how it was.
Right.
Grew up in church. I'm a church boy. Popular as being a drummer. So that kind of, made the name in Connecticut. Me and my brother, he played the bass. I was the drummer. So we kind of, kind of went that way and became really, popular from there.
Okay. So I want to ask this question about your mom.
Mhm.
Does she agree with the new gospel like Kirk Franklin and Ty Tribbett, or is she old school like Tremaine Hawkins and the Clark?
She likes it all. Like, she's never been that type of person for what I can remember to, I don't like that. She always listened to gospel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And still does, like all of my R&B concerts that come to Connecticut, she's never gone. But the cool
Right.
thing is, yeah, she's never gone. But it never bothered me because she still supported me. She never
Right.
talked bad.
I dig it.
When the church talked bad about us and we're going to hell, and that whole thing.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, wait a minute. Your church, you saying your church was talking bad about you and your brothers?
Oh yeah, when we first
That's secular music, Big O.
Yeah,
You know that's
secular
secular music. They can't play that devil's music.
Remember, Jay? Like when you go and they talk bad about you, but then you get a check and then they forget everything. Like you ain't get a check back. Like,
pay your tithes. Is that what you're talking
you hit them back in the plate,
He's
like,
stupid.
you hit them back like, all right now, listen.
But we're tithe payers. Ben, my mother taught us that young anyways. But so regardless of that, I think the lesson was to be obedient. The lesson was to, follow God's plan, and, and what people couldn't see then, they saw later. You get what I'm saying? Like
I got you.
it hurt us, it bothered us, but she supported us, and she she never once been like, y'all don't need to be doing that, y'all get out my house. That she's never done that. And so I think if she would have done that, it would have affected us differently. But because she supported us as well, even though she knew what her belief was and knew what God was dealing with and what God told her, or whatever that religion side, she supported us, and through that we were able to bless her. We were able to do a lot for her as well. So I think it happened the way it was supposed to happen, honestly.
Exactly.
And
I think you guys,
I'm not towards church or nothing. Like I'm too old for that.
right. So, and then you guys, didn't you do something with the GMWA? You guys played there.
What is
with
GMWA?
The gospel music workshop.
There we go.
Yeah, that was from, I think James Clemons started that.
James Clemons started that. It's actually still going on. It's like
who let the gate open?
like 57 years now, but I think it's in North Carolina, where you are,
Yeah, James Clemons. When you said James
I don't know if it's the same, but yeah.
No waste time.
I did, and that's where I first got my my first scholarship to Berkeley. And I wasn't even out of high school yet. The guy heard me play there. I played I forgot which album that was, but I played a song on the album. And the guy heard me, and while I was there, he would say, "Hey, I want to give you, I want to offer you this." Like, it was crazy. And I was like, well, I never went to Berkeley. But
right, and you denied. I want to talk about that too, because I know we're skipping around on. I know likes to go in a succession, but you did. There was a couple of more things you didn't accept, but you ended up where you wanted to end up, but you didn't accept the scholarship to Berkeley. I actually listened to your book on Audible, and which is very good, by the way. So I was able to wash dishes and listen to the book at the same time. Look at those, but yeah, I was actually surprised when you denied that Berkeley scholarship.
I did, I don't know. It's like back then it was like, I just wanted to hit the road. I wanted to get that call. My goal was to be on Arsenio Hall. Like, that was just my all-time, goal. And I've exceeded that, but it's just a fact that I just wanted to play drums. And I wanted to do it on a professional level. That's all I wanted to do.
Okay, so now, all right, you growing up. So now, question: did you go to public school, or were you private trained?
Public school.
Public school. Okay, so now, the public school, they nurtured your talent because they had a great music program, or that was you?
No, I wasn't a part of the music program at school. I never. It's like I didn't have an interest of reading music, none of that. I just had raw talent, and I had a gift, and I just wanted to play. So me sitting in class, like, I tried the flute or something like that, just something different, and I was
like, cousin to the flute. Whoa!
And if I thought about it now, I probably would have played snare drum and something like that in school, but I just wasn't there because I was already playing and gigging. So it was like, I looked at that as like, I don't want to do that. I just want to, play the whole drums. Like,
hey, wait a minute, because every person who played drums in high school that I've heard, the first thing they was like, I couldn't wait to get to a HBCU college band so I could be stepping. That wasn't your dream. That wasn't your dream. You ain't say you sort of grabbing the grabbing.
I went straight from high school to the road and never looked back.
Damn. So you went straight to the fire, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, so you graduated, and so how fast after graduating high school did you go on the road, and who did you go on the road with?
That next summer, I went to a guy by the name of Stanley Brown in New York. A friend of mine to this day. He gave us our first, break. He was the one that, because he was with Hezekiah Walker back in the day, the keyboard player, and so we knew him. He would come down to fellowship, different churches that we were at, like that. So when he got the chance and got the position that he was able to really put people on, he called us and was like, hey, he called me, my brother. We came down there with a whole crew. It was like, and he was like, Aaron Hall from the group guy. That's when he went solo, and he was doing an audition. And so we
came yeah. So you're talking about that was like 95.
95, yeah. We came down there and we auditioned, and we as a band group we got the gig. And so our first show was going over to London.
Oh, and you was in that time?
Yeah.
Oh God, yo. Oh God.
I was like 20 years old.
Oh, yeah, that was different. Yeah, that was different.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was so I went from that to playing with him to the music director named Kern Brantley, who was at the auditions as well. He came to Aaron Hall's rehearsal one day to come hang out. He heard me playing and he offered me the Mary J. Blige gig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait,
you know what I'm saying?
Hey, you talking about the gifts to make room for you, buddy.
Yeah.
And it's not the typical story of, I waited 15 years and then somebody finally found me and I paid behind the scenes and all of that. Just straight to it. So how was it when you first, left the U.S. to go there? Your mom was cool with it, 20 years old, you're out of there?
It was cool with it. I was nervous. That was my first flight, and the first flight going to London.
Wow.
6-7 hours. I was scared, but I did it. And then once I did the Aaron Hall stuff, it was an easy decision because my brother and everybody made it easy. They stayed with Aaron. And when I was offered the Mary J. Blige gig, they was like, yo.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Yeah, we got to talk about that. Question. So you stayed home for a year and then left? So your mom was tripping then because you was at the crib, right?
But they were still gigging though, right? Didn't y'all have like little local things they were doing?
All right, because you graduated high school and you ain't do because
Yeah.
But see, my mom wasn't like that because I didn't have those parents. Now my father was a little bit different because he was a working man, 9 to 5. He was a hard working man and paid all the bills. So with my brother, it was like go to college, do this and that. My brother was extra smart. He knew electronics. He knew he could be an IT. He could be anything. That's how smart he is. And so it was him going to electronics school, but then they said he didn't need to be there because he took the TV apart and put it back together. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, well, why are you here? And it was like, because my father wanted me here, So it was, music was always our passion. My mother didn't push us. I've never heard out of her mouth from what I can remember her saying, you gotta go to college. I didn't have that kind of parents. It was, if anything, go to church, but that, even when I was home, it was always, we gigged, so that was never a problem.
Yeah,
for us, we're not the lazy boys. We get up here and do that. That was never our story because we were going to do it somehow.
So my next question would be, how was it with Aaron Hall? Because I've heard he was a very wild child.
It was good. It was funny because his shows was very
explicit.
Yeah,
very back then. That was his time. That was his.
Yeah, I was in college. Yeah, I seen him come through, and I was just like, I felt offended because it was kind of like, yo, hold up, I know her. She's in my,
right.
Class. And he really, like, I'm looking at everybody different now. Like, that's what we doing on stage in front of all of us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was him. And you know what though? Back then, and I think he set the bar. Set that tone because back then a lot of 90s dudes their goal was to get that shirt off. The goal was to, if you notice, like back then, it was that get a girl on stage. It was grind. It was, it was that type of thing.
Right.
Bobby Brown effect.
Yeah, right. I mean, now it's but back then it was like, let me get in it. Let me, it was all that. I think, so me seeing that, I was like, oh wow, like this is crazy, but it's dope.
Yeah.
And so, it wasn't with him. I did like maybe 5-6 shows with him before I moved on. And to this day though, when I see him to this day, it's still love. It's still, this is my first drum, like he was my first gig. I respect people no matter what happens. You know, it's like you gave me a chance.
Right.
So I
Right.
always have respect for people. He's always, you know, Uncle Aaron to me, always. Like, you know, even when I saw him
That's
last
dope.
year, I see him probably every year they come out here to Hampton, whatever. So it's like it's a love that I will always have for him and a few other people that have been there for me early in my early age. So
Love it.
Loyalty.
Wow.
Understand though.
yeah.
So now you left Aaron Hall and your brother stayed like we over here, you know what we doing. And you went with Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
And you was after she was not sizzling, smoking hot. She was fish grease hot at that time. You're dealing with first album, what's the 411, then the 411 remixes, and then she came out with My Life.
Yeah.
You came on the
That
hills
was
of
That was
my
the
first
joint.
tour. Yeah. I came on the My Life tour.
Oh, you was on My Life
Man.
tour.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought shit.
Oh.
Nah, Share My World was a second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
after
that's
My
what I was
Life.
like.
Yeah.
That's why I thought you came in to Share My World, but you was on My Life. Oh,
Ooh.
damn.
I was just listening to that last night.
And I like to say, I personally believe that was her best album.
Yeah.
You know,
that
she
was
has
cool.
many great albums, but I
Yeah.
think that was her best album.
Yeah.
So how was that experience in itself?
It was great, you know. She didn't like no drummers. She didn't like none of them. So I was like, a lot of drummers that I know, even it's funny because another guy I know told the story how he, you know, lost a gig because, you know, I came in. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's all.
Oh, you
But-
just blew him out the water, or like, or
Well,
like,
it was like because she's from New York. I'm from Connecticut. We have that up north, that swag.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
That I like.
that
Yeah.
swag, that grid. And so people that were auditioning, people was playing, they were great drummers, but they didn't have that what she wanted to hear. And so when I came into the picture, I had it. And so when she heard me, she heard me. I can still remember to this day. She sat in the room, she had a hat down low, you know, she's listening to the show, and she was just like, "You're dope," you know. And I stayed there. You know, other drummers I knew that was like, "Yo, she didn't like this drummer." That I was like, "Oh shoot, like you kidding me?" But it was, you know, it's just God's timing. Everything is timing. God's timing, purpose.
Yes.
Is just
Kairos.
I was that one for that era, and so
okay, you know what? And I'm just being honest. You are definitely a blessing and a gift. And I know I couldn't have dealt with some of the things you dealt with because I would have been cracking game. Say, what? Casey been wrong to you? Lean on my shoulder, Mary.
I can't. This guy.
He don't need
He's so
you.
bad.
He don't know how important you are.
All right. And so
I'm just telling me. I'm keeping them 100.
Yeah, you be the one that be doing no gigs either, because you'll be
exactly. He get kicked off the tour like the
look.
That's
Happy
exactly.
to the mug too, like that. I got memories. I got memories.
I want to touch on that too. So there are ways that you can tell, like amateur drummers. Have you ever been in a situation where maybe somebody is coming to play a set or something, or they're filling in, or they're doing something for you, and you just know that, you know, he's an amateur? And the only reason I say that because I watched this thing, and it's a guy that was from the Beatles, and he had Ringo, I think that was his name. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about ways that you could tell an amateur drummer, and his things were the kick control, whether you learn your music quickly or not, how good you can like lock up with the band, your ability to figure out the groove without having somebody have to keep telling you, and then, you know, just to, I guess, keep in tune. So how do you know when there's an amateur drummer besides them just playing lousy? Like, what do you know that makes a difference?
Lack of experience. I think, you know, again, some of the things that even he mentioned, you know, just being able to catch on, being able to, it's not so much, to me, amateur goes a long way because it's just when you're not ready. You know what I'm saying? It's you know, you think, because you can be you can have all the chops, have everything in the world, but you're not ready mind-wise. You're not ready of just where you are in life. And I think I've gotten tons of emails from people, hey, I'm ready. I'm like, what makes you ready? Like, how do you know that you're ready? Because everybody can handle the role. Let's forget about all the bad stuff. Just period. Everybody some people have been sheltered all their life, so they get on the road and go crazy, or you know, they're not gonna babysit you on the road. They're not gonna like a lot of things that you're used to at home. If you're spoiled and you're used to certain things at home, it ain't gonna be like that. So I think drummers or musicians, period, need to know that being ready is more than just sitting there practicing. You see what I'm saying? Sitting there, who is the best at what they do. It's a mind thing more than anything, because you gotta make sure that you're ready, focused. You can't. There's girls everywhere. There's guys everywhere. There's you know. So you got to get out of that and say, okay, I'm here to get this.
Why am I here? Right.
If it's a career, a long-term career or a short-term career. And I think, you know, once they figure that out and once they get to the point in life where they're ready, then I think they can do, you know, I was fortunate to be around people that cared about me. I was fortunate to be around people that didn't allow me to go but so far. You see what I'm saying? So I think that was important, and that has good ground. You know, I come from good stock. So I think with all that, I just wanted to play drums. I wanted to be dope. I wanted to get the endorsements. Like, those are my goals. My goal wasn't, I'm gonna get that girl. Like, I'm a guy, so girls come with any territory. You see what I'm saying?
Just because.
Yeah, it was more of, I want to make money. I want to be something. I want to be a household name. Like, those were the things that was going through my head.
Right. Got you.
Okay.
I dig.
What about as a drummer? A lot of times they get overlooked, but during that time period, I think one of the most popular ones, I'm trying to recall, the guy from Red Hot Chili Peppers, I want to say Flea. You know, he became very like notoriety because of his hair and also some of his flamboyant style. I think Tommy Lee during that time got very, got notoriety as far as his band members, because most of the time you guitarist and the lead singer is out there, but the drummer, sometimes
and everybody loves drums. That's every kid, a lot of kids. If you go to 10 kids, 8 of them probably love drums, you know. And I think Tommy and the other guy from the other, I think because they were part of the group. See, the difference of some of me going to being a freelance drummer is I'm not really a part of your group.
Gotcha. Like Mint Condition, that's a band, but you're a band artist.
What you say?
What did you say?
No, I said
like what you said.
It's all about the singer. It's all about the it's a lot of times in these new acts or acts period throughout the days is the band. To me, I feel like without a band, your show can be sorry. And I think it needs to be more emphasis on a band, but I get it. You know, the artist is signed to whoever, and that's what it is. And I get that too. I just think that those like Tommy Lee, he was a part of the band. So and he is a great drummer, and he had a look. So he used that at the same time to be with the band plus outside of the band. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He's that popular guy. And I think it's just different for different people. It just depends on who the group is or what it is. You know, like with Israel, it was different. Israel Houghton, New Breed, I was a part of that. So even though creatively I wasn't always a part of it, but as far as when you saw the group, you can say, "Oh, that's the group." You see what I'm saying? So it's just a little.
So I always thought that the artist just had a consistent band. But talking to other drummers and musicians that have been on our podcast, even like Willie Bam Bam Parker, you play for so many people. Like, why the switch? Why not? Oh, I'm going to stay with Mary for 10 years. It's how the artist works, and if they're not working, you move on. Like, why don't they? If it's good, why keep changing it?
I think it's just that they go back to the studio. They don't want to put you on retainer. And at the end of the day, we have to live. At the end of the day, some people got families, got to pay bills. You have to move on to the next person. Now, there's groups that are large and large enough to be able to keep you on retainer, to be able to keep you, but some groups, a lot of times these groups, and then they don't want to pay you nothing. It's just keeping it real.
Yeah, I ain't hanging around for free.
Yeah, they don't want to pay you nothing. And what they're paying today is just it's not worth jack. it's totally just wrong. Because artists will make, I come from the day of artists making 40, 50,000 a show, which was like unbelievable, great, right? But then now you got people who's making $200,000 a show.
Yeah.
$500,000 a show. 700, all because of how hot they are, and they still want
Drake $1 million. Yeah.
Huh?
Drake $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and
That's
they
crazy.
still want to pay the band a lousy whatever. You get what I'm saying?
2,500. Yeah, you good. Like what?
and it's crazy. I think it's sad. You know, because musicians have to. That's why we keep going. That's why we got to keep doing tours, because the artists can stop at any time. They can. Well, I made $10 million. If I want to stop, I can. When the musicians have made not even 10% that. So it's like, how do you stop? So we have to keep going. I was going from. It was a time of 5-6 year span where I was never home, because I was going from here. I was everywhere. Missed holidays, everything, weddings,
California, back and forth. Right.
Yeah. So it's what it is. I don't see it changing.
Wait a minute. What? Is there a union for musicians? I thought there was.
There's a musicians like union, but it's not like that. It's not like a real musician. How the healthcare got a union. Like rules and all that.
Yeah, like SAG. That was like the Actors Guild.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
There's no real union for musicians, unless you playing on TV and things like that. There's the union for that. They give you an extra check on that, but it's not. It ain't. There's no protection. There's no nobody to fight on. It's every man for himself, literally.
Okay, so everybody's a free agent, and so I get you. So you got to get it how you live.
You are what you negotiate. I've always been good at negotiating. So
good business bars. I love that. Yeah.
And from what I've been privy to, like what I asked you about earlier about writing, because many of the writers that I've seen was the front man and the guitarist and the pianist. But the producers and people who actually changed from being a drummer and then said, okay, I'm gonna be a DJ. I saw that transition. Did you ever think about like, let me go to DJ and let me go, because this hip hop thing, they started seeing numbers.
He knew what he wanted. He had tunnel vision.
I never was interested in that. Here's the thing. I knew what I was worth, and I knew how to get people to listen to what we had. You love me as a drummer, so let's check out this track. You love me as a drummer, hey, you're not produced, check out this stuff, check out this stuff. I've sat in meetings with Mary. I've sat in meetings with these people and their A&Rs, really great, head, Sylvia Rome, like really meetings with people and got production deals and done this record, done that record. I think when you got their ear, then use it. A lot of times, if we didn't have, it's easier now because we got social media. We didn't have none of that back then. We didn't have no iPhone. We didn't have it was straight flip phone, beepers, two-way. You know what I'm saying? And it was literally, MySpace came out years later. But before, how would you get in touch with people? You had to call them. You had to be there. You had to make it. So it was different. Now it's just, you become, on social media, you become the man overnight. But back then it was work. So we used that, and we used our talent. We used our, my thing was, hey, you like me as a drummer, so I'm gonna slide this over to you. Check that out. I used that to my advantage, and people don't do that. And that's why I wasn't the average drummer. I wasn't the average musician that just played. Now you're gonna respect me. I drive what you drive. You're gonna respect me. You know what I'm saying?
Bars.
And I think people,
almost said glory on that one.
Hey, look, listen, the real party's in the parking lot.
They saw that worth, and they had to respect it. At the end of the day, you had to respect who we were, how we rolled, and what I stood for. And everybody didn't like it, but I had to be. You're gonna respect me because I work too hard. I play too hard, I work too hard, and I want to be able to enjoy life the same way you do. So
okay. So now you're on the road with Mary, like just got off the road with Aaron Hall, you're on the road with Mary J. Blige. So now your experiences, you're traveling, it's a multi-platinum album. The tour is out of this world. So where do you go from there?
From there, I went. What did I do after her? I did SWV in between there.
Okay.
I did. I did Joe. I did a couple fill-in dates with Joe. I did. But then right after Mary, in between Mary's albums, we were producing too. So that's where the rough end stuff came. And
whoa! You said Rough Ends.
Yeah.
You used to produce for Rough Ends?
Yeah, we produced the first album we did. God.
Because they came out in the early 90s.
So how do you get introduced to these people? Do they just know you and call you? Do you contact them? Like, how do you get the connection, or just gotcha?
We had a manager. We had a manager, and so that was help. And then with his connections, it was really fine. Yeah, but we had a manager named Troy Patterson, good guy, and he introduced us to Emmanuel Seal, who he was managing at the same time. Emmanuel Seal used to produce with Jermaine Dupri and did a lot of records with Jermaine Dupri, from the whole My Way album, Usher. Yeah, all those singles.
Did you play with Usher too? You didn't play? I thought you did play with Usher.
So all those songs that you heard on Usher, My Way album, all the singles, he produced and he wrote with Jermaine. So we got a chance to see that whole side of.
I love it.
Of the production, and it was just like, wow. So we moved to Atlanta and we started producing and doing everything with him at the time as well. And so that was in between. And so when I was with, this is a story that is crazy. When I was with Mary, which album was this? I want to say it was Share My World, whatever album, whatever one that Usher opened up for us. It was that My Way first came out, and it was like
02. Okay.
He wasn't there yet, but he was getting there. He didn't do his own tour, nothing like that yet. It was before.
That's the one right before Confessions. So you talking about 01, 2000.
Yeah, before the Confessions, but it was in between the first album he did and then that My Way.
Yeah, that one was the first one was with Puffy. It was
Puffy, right.
Usher Raymond. He had his last name.
Right. So, but
then you got Jim J.
My Way had just came out, and so he was opening for us on Mary's tour. So Usher used to watch me every night on stage. I didn't know this until later on, after that I got the call to do Usher. His mom told me that he watched me every night on stage, and so he wanted me to be his chemist. When that tour was over, I immediately got a phone call. I was supposed to do. So remember, he had two albums. He had two tours: the My Way tour, and then he had the 8701. 8701 is the one I did.
Okay. My
Way tour, I was supposed to do that DVD, but I started producing, and that money was looking all right.
Yeah.
So I turned it down.
So now listen, I'm hearing what you're saying, and like I'm a music. I just love music. I love interesting things, and I'm putting it together like in my brain collage, and I'm like, oh, so if you did Rough Ends and you were doing my Mary J. Blige, went to Usher, you had SWV Joe, so I know you're dealing with Chico DeBarge in that era, and then in there that smooth like was Janae. I love them. Janae was right in there.
90s is
that was the late 90s, early 2000s.
2000 was the best era still.
Ever.
Hands down.
And I'm hearing you saying you were a producer, and that's where like that early 2000 you were producing. So I'm just being honest. Why would you ever go back to drumming if you were to producing in that time? And think about it. It's almost like being a DJ in the late 80s, like the super DJs. And it's like now you're like, all right, I want to come back down to the mere mortals and drum. Like, how do you do that?
Because when it's in you still, it's like, oh, I got a chance to do this, or let me do this now. Like I turned that first Usher tour down, but then the second 87 one I did. I saw him in New York, and it was just like, you know what? I'll do it. I think I had just moved back. We had just part ways with Manuel and started doing our own thing. So it's like in between, almost like in between tours. You know what I'm saying? How I said in between, you gotta keep working. So I even though we were producing, but it was still a grind because we didn't have that big huge hit. We was on albums. We saw those. We got the credit, but it wasn't like the we did this hottest single for the summer to where now we just hitting. You know what I'm saying? So it was still a grind, and so I went back on tour. In between that, still did some production, still do, it's a grind. It was just always a grind because we never had that huge, and we won an award. I got nominated for a Grammy, won an award for a Dove Award for God, what's the name? I'm getting old.
You're forgetting your accolades.
But Out of Eden, which was a gospel, they're like a Christian group called Out of Eden. They're like the TLC of Christian. If that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never heard of that one.
Like so,
I'm a Google.
So we did a song called Meditate, and that song got best urban gospel song of the year. So we won that, and their album got best album of the year. So we have 2 Dove Awards for that. And a Dove Award on the Christian side is
it's like a Grammy
on the
on
the side. So that's what we did. So that was a great accomplishment, of course, for us as well. So we saw some great benefits from it. It was just still just a grind, and just kind of finding our way in a lot of different things still.
Okay. So how did you find time to, date and, have a personal life? Because you're traveling, you're here and there. And you're a young man. So I'm like, how do you not lose your mind?
I mean, you find time for that because you're not untouchable. You see what I'm saying? So I found time to be able to date and have relationships with people and stuff like that. It's just it was just I never really how you say it, I never not dated, whether whoever it was, what I'm saying. I always had a girlfriend or had somebody to mess with, stuff like that, but it was never a time where I really wasn't dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you what we like to say, serial monogamous, or were you saying, listen, we dating, but when I'm on the road, and
no, I was a faithful person.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't that. Yeah.
Fair enough. Because I'm just telling you, that's why God tells me I need a chaperone. I'm just keeping it all 100. Like I'm a grown up with an adult chaperone called my wife. Like I needed that in my life because I'm sitting here right now like. You was in the early 2000s and the late 90s. I was in college around that time, and I know what was going down.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to him.
And
he needed prayer. He just needed a little bit of oil right here. It's a little right here.
I don't know. I was like,
put a bottle on
him. Open your mouth, boy.
Right.
I need a chaperone. I know it. I'm good. So. Moving along, children. Did you have any children along the way?
No, I never had children. I have one child when I married to my ex. That marriage last 15 years. And we have a child from that. And then got divorced, got remarried, and my wife had kids, and I have my child. So all together, I have 6 children total.
Okay.
Good deal.
Okay. And is it type of situation where they're like younger? Was the person they have like older children?
No, my son is younger. He's 20 now.
Hold up, man. You got a 20-year-old?
He can sing. Yeah, he can sing too.
Hey,
I seen the video. He can sing.
Yeah.
He really, really can. So is there you have a son that went to wife? Do you have girls? Is there a difference now raising females and males. I know you got girl dads and boy dads, and is there a difference? I know Shaq talked about it once, like, I treat my girls this way and I treat my boys this way.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think girls, like, and the cool thing about this, we have a blended, relationship, blended marriage and kids. It's like everybody is cool. And it was a great, it made it, her children made it easy for me to be involved. And like it was
bars to the kids, bars, shout out.
It was a welcome. And the girls I treat the girls like girls, treat the guys like guys, and so you're right, it's a difference of how you treat the guys. So now I think about it. But it's been great. It's been a great experience. And I wouldn't change it. Life brings us through things that makes us, that we learn from. And I think that this whole experience of life in my last 5 years has been, it's been a lot, but it's been growth. Like it's almost like again, God knows what you need when you need it. And sometimes you go through these things, you don't pick and choose what you go through, how you go. Sometimes you just got to go through it. But it grew me in a lot of different ways that I didn't know was there, or I thought I had lost. So I think when you look at it from that point of view, you gotta look at it's life, it's positive. If I didn't go through it, where would I be today? Still stuck in certain things. You get what I'm saying? So I just
I got it. I get it.
We go through what we go through, but I can say I'm the happiest I've been right now. I'm accomplished a lot, businesses, things like that we're blessed. My wife's a nurse. She's an RN, but she owns a home health company. She owns a drip bar. She owns a few things. So it's like we're evolving in a whole different level of things right now. So
how do you keep it? How do you keep your ego in check? Like you just said, I tour with all these people. I know these people. We got this and that. Like, how do you not be that dude who's, we don't like him because he's cocky instead of, confident, or he thinks he's, and that's why you got all the drummers hate you because you're this type of dude. They got the beef because Mike Clemons thinks that he's this guy. Like, how do you keep your ego in check?
I remember that this is something, and it's funny because people who meet me say, yo, I never thought you would be this cool. It's like, why not? Like, I never understood people who don't answer people on social media, who walk past people. I'm just a grateful person. Like, y'all have no idea of the things I've gone through in life that could have took me out, could have ruined me. What God could have exposed, He didn't. Like, I'm so grateful that I owe God. For me, it's not worth being arrogant. It's not worth being ungrateful, because the same way He gave it, the same way He could take it away. And that's always been my fear. I've seen people treat me wrong because of who they are. And I've always, if I wasn't a strong-minded person, someone who really believed in myself, that could have shattered my dreams.
Crushed you. Yeah.
I never wanted that. So for me, I always wanted to make sure that I never did that to anyone else. You see what I'm saying? So that's what keeps me humble. Me knowing that God can take this all away.
Okay. So my question now becomes: you mentioned that you have several businesses. Why did you feel the need to diversify per se? Was the music dwindling so much, or you just got you lost passion for it, or bad experiences?
A mixture. I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life. I didn't want to be the drummer that traveled for the rest of his life because he had to. Church to get a check because I have to. I never wanted to be that person. I want to be able to. Well, I could play drums for free if I want. Or I have a friend who he's a sound guy. And this always stuck with me. He said, "This is my vacation fund. When you see me out here playing," he said, "this money goes to a vacation account, and me and my wife every year zeroes it out every year."
Wow.
He said that to me because his real business makes millions, so he didn't need this. And when I realized, I started, drumming became work, married, kids, and so now I got to pay bills. So now it became like, this is work, not fun no more. And when it became
Okay.
fun, I had to create other avenues so it could be fun and not me stressed out because, oh, you gonna cancel a tour, oh God, what am I gonna do? Like, I didn't want to do that no more. So I had
Right.
to create businesses that can make money, you know, when I'm not there. So that way, if I go out somewhere, it's for fun. And I always want that goal of, you know what, we're gonna go ahead, you know what, I'm gonna, come on, baby, you come with me. I'm gonna, you know, like this is a free trip, but it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I want to
Yeah.
do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for it.
And so now in these business endeavors, and you see your family and people back home, how do they feel about that? Do they still treat you the same, or they feel a little different?
I get a lot of love back home. Connecticut supports me. That's one thing I
Okay.
could say. Connecticut, like, I'm gonna do a juice bar there. I'm gonna do a few things there. Connecticut really supports me, and you don't always get that,
True.
you
Right.
know, where you're from, but they really, what I can say about Connecticut, I know if I do something there, they will support me. And I think that's a blessing. But I've always kept it real. I've never come home to be Hollywood. I've never come home
Right.
to
Like, I'm
like,
coming home. It's
yeah,
me with my nice car. Yeah, coming down
right.
the
It's
road.
never been that. It's always been, yo, like, let's hang out, let's go bowling, let's go. Like, I've always been that dude, and I think they appreciate the fact that I can come home from being in Australia, being wherever I've been, and not even living there no more, but still can come home and they support me like I live there. I think that's a blessing.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, look, definitely. So when you come home, they support you and bless and
Yeah,
everything.
I've done
But
stuff, done clinics there, but I've also done like this pop up. You know, I have a friend, one of my best friends, his wife owns a salon, so we've done this a pop up stuff there, just to, and people to support it. Like,
yeah.
they buy my juices, they buy all that stuff there. So I'm just like, wow, like, thank you.
Oh, okay. So now, how is it that, being on the road, having businesses, and now a family? Because
Um,
let's say before, you just gotta account for yourself. Now you're talking about you have 6 total children.
yeah,
I know they're grown now, but
they're
how
grown.
was that? Yeah, yeah. So how was that before when they were teenagers, when fathers need to be in their sons' lives at the time in those times?
I'm only married 4 years, so
Okay.
I came into the girls' life. They were in high school, so that, and I've been there for them. But during that, it's crazy because during that time I wasn't doing the road like that. I had juice bars and stuff like that, so I wasn't
He was on the
on the
calm
road.
down.
You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
slowed down, so it was like, so it's just, I guess the timing of it allowed me to be able to be home,
Okay.
and you know what I'm saying. The timing was just
Yeah.
perfect. You know, I didn't have that story of, going on the, now with my son, when he was younger, I was going a lot, things like that. But we also kept a great relationship. So it's
Good deal.
so that's different. You see what I'm saying? But as far as me,
Mhm.
coming to a marriage with kids already, it wasn't little kids. They were, 16,
Oh
17.
yeah.
So it was a little bit different. It was high school already. Some were out already. Yeah.
Okay.
And you talked about the juice. You were talking about the juice, and I did listen to your book, My Life in Story, Mike Clemons, My Life in Story. You talk about gaining weight, diabetes, and all of that, and then what happened. So, is that what the juice came from? Is trying to eat right, be healthy? Because a lot of we talked to some other people, and being on the road, being a drummer, you might not eat right, or it's late night and things like that. So, just kind of touch on that with your journey with diabetes.
Yeah. So with the juice bar did come. It came out of curiosity. It came out
Mm,
of want to know what juicing does, and have the opportunity to be a part of a guy out here who had a couple of juice bars, and I kind of shadowed him and kind of learned my stuff from him, and then I got my own and took it to a different level, and
got you.
what beets dough does, and learn what wheatgrass and just all these things, how healthy is it, and that played a part with my journey of knowing what to eat. You know, because before losing weight, because I had already lost a lot of weight, so it
Right.
didn't just juicing because I had already lost weight. The juicing came from, okay, how can I help others, and how can I take this nutrition to a different level? On knowing that, okay, you got high blood pressure, okay, so you need beets, you got inflammation, okay, you see what I'm saying? Like it was
Yeah,
more,
you need some ginger. You need some.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was more of that, and that became something that was a passion for me. And me seeing others testimonials of me seeing others say, you know, wow, because of what because of what you created helps me with this, and I've lost this or this, you know, that's just something that, you know, again was a is a gift. You know, I feel like you know, my hands are gifted, and I feel like whatever I touched, you know, and still touch, you know, God blesses. So
That's
Okay.
amazing.
I'm listening. I'm listening
I'm
right
get
now.
there. It's in me. I feel it. It's in me.
No,
I know it
you
is.
ain't vegan.
I just got to get the manifestation part of it out. It's like, you know, but then you got to tap into it and do it. You know, it's that consistency and knowing when to move, you know, and surround yourself with the right people. That's the key. And the people talk about those things all the time. But when you know you got gifts and you're intelligent and you're smart and you got it all in there, and you don't know what to do first or second or third or you know, what you're going to do, you know, tapping into that is something. And I don't even know if you could say exactly what it is that enables you to, Jason Hendrickson, he's on the show. He's one of those people. It's like everything he taps into, you know, he can do it. It turns into something. It turns into money for him. So
I think it's being fearless, because you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna grow, you're gonna make some decision that's always not the greatest. And you learn from that. I think it's being fearless. I think it's knowing what you're capable of doing, which can be a scary thing, because when you know what you can do, sometimes you can push that envelope to a point of, wait a minute, what I get myself into. At the same time, it's a blessing, but it's like, let me slow down. So hearing from God to me is one of the most important things: when to move, how to move, because you know he's always speaking, he's always sending some type of sign. We just have to be in tune enough to know what it is and know what that that right moment is, and when it's not. And a lot of times we're overcome. You know, fear comes in, and is this kind of takes.
oh yeah, fear
You know,
stuff.
and we get used to because being an entrepreneur is not the prettiest thing. It's not like, sometimes it's great. I get my check every week. I know what I'm getting every week. I can kind of, you know, being an entrepreneur, you can make $10,000 this week and make nothing next.
Nothing.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's
yeah.
really a different thing. And if you're not really loving what you're doing and believing what you do and what you're called to do, many people fail. Many people feel they look at us, I knew I shouldn't have. It's like, no,
I knew it.
some things is just you have to learn. Like Walmart didn't get to where they are by not failing. They just got to a point where their failed. Even to this day, their fails are probably, you know, oh, we didn't make $1 million, we didn't make 10 million today. We made 1 million, which is a fail to them. You get what I'm saying? It's just a different
Oh yeah. It's the bar you set for yourself and all that. I dig it.
And I think when we get past the fear and get to, okay, what are you great at doing? Because some people are great at whatever. Like a friend of mine, I was so proud of him. He said, man, I want to do this, but I'm getting ready to really shut everything down because I'm starting my own business. What are you doing? Oh, staffing. You know, this is what he does anyways for another company. It makes him so much. And he has so many connections. He said, I'm going to go ahead and now start my own staffing company. Great. Do it. Like, and I told him, I said, you're gonna have ups and downs, you're gonna have doubts, but stick to the path.
Stick with it.
And it's gonna pay off. It may pay off in 5 years, it may pay off in 10. It may pay
Lord, that's a long time.
Yeah. So it's
but
a long
if you
time
ain't
you know what's a long time? Because we used to getting a job and getting paid 2 weeks later or whatever, and you're getting that 1,000, whatever you're getting. But you will never reach the goal of, you always cap out at 40 hours. You always cap out at this salary. You're never going to make this without, you know, being a CEO or you never make what the CEO make, being an employee, never. So when I realized that early on, I've never had a job, like a 9 to 5. Matter of fact, I had a 9 to 5.
Didn't you work at a clothing store or something like that?
I worked at
Like a
UPS.
T-shirt, airbrushing shirts,
What?
something like that.
No,
Yes, it's in the book.
I didn't work there. I actually did that stuff.
You
That was
did
my-
that,
I've
yeah,
always been-
yeah.
I've
And
always
you
been
cut hair, and
entrepreneur.
you cut hair too.
Cut
And you
hair.
cut hair too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've always been an entrepreneur. You
Yeah.
know, and so that was my thing. So like I was an entrepreneur when I didn't know I was an entrepreneur.
Like,
know
let me
what
get a
I'm saying?
haircut for $1, Mike.
Yeah. All through high school, I didn't have to ask my mom for nothing because I started in the 8th grade, and I was cutting hair, and I never I always cut hair.
You should let him cut your hair, oh.
Nah, man. No, I told him I got the George Jefferson.
I'm joking.
No, you wasn't. I know you
Back
got.
at you. But I know you're gonna come back, but go ahead.
I got you. But now, so my thought process is because when you start talking about the juices and juicing and losing a lot of weight, like I just became a vegan, and it was like, you at a doctor's office and he say some certain things like, yeah, this could happen and it looks like this may be happening right now. Like, what? I ain't eating bad. I dabble, but I ain't eating bad. I eat meals like, got my meat, vegetable, and my starch. Like, I don't really be bugging. It's like, and now I'm learning. It's like, yo, the food ain't real anymore. So you eating a whole bunch of bullshit. Even you got the traditional values of how you're eating, but what you're eating now is not real. And it's like, ooh. So I actually just went vegan. And right now I'm losing weight. My body feels tingly. The good part is that, so some, coming down some things, but I gotta go get some weights because I gotta shape it, right way. And kind of feels, at times I feel weak because I think I'm lacking not enough protein. Yeah, so it's like I gotta learn about that a little bit better. So now so now my question now is, we have this part of the show where, I just ask you a few questions about just various topics, okay? It's like either or, so if I ask you a question about, let me give you an easy one. New England Patriots or the New York Giants? You can say one or the other, you can say both, you can say neither. Which one would you pick?
Neither. I don't like football. You know what? I can't say I don't like it. I will watch a football. I understand football. I will watch a football. I've been to games. I'm not a sports person.
Okay.
So they canceled your sports questions.
Yeah, I got it, but I ain't like how he answered being from Connecticut. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't like that. That's why I asked those two teams. Because, Connecticut will jump on the fence both sides. Like, we ain't part of New England. And then be like, we with the Giants. And be like, nah. That's why I asked him that. Like, see where he was at with it. So he might be one of those New Englander type Connecticut people, or he a New Yorker type.
He just made up something.
Yeah. So all right. So watch this. Okay. Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Apple Jacks?
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Undefeated. Michael Jordan or LeBron?
Jordan.
What's wrong with this guy? Okay. Prince or Michael Jackson?
Jackson.
Yeah, Michael Jackson.
Okay. Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston? Whitney.
Of course.
Okay. Let's go a little deeper in the vault.
Bars. You know what I'm saying?
A little deeper in the vault. Okay. Sam Cooke or James Brown?
James.
James.
Okay. Luther Vandross or Marvin Gaye?
A good one. Luther.
Okay. All right. Let's do a little instrumentation. Okay. Bradford Marsalis Wynton Marsalis or Miles Davis?
I could do neither.
Okay. Okay. Let's go a little further. Tommy Lee or Ringo Starr?
Tommy.
Okay.
I got one. It's a good one too. It's for a drummer. If you had a choice, because you know the wood of a drum makes a difference in the tone. How much do you? So do you like mahogany or do you like maple?
Good question, maple.
Now, why do you like maple? I mean, because there's a whole lot of different types
What
of
do you
wood.
know?
Beech wood,
What do you know? What do you know, Jay?
cherry, poplar. Why that one?
The tone of it is warm.
So would you use a different wood for a different artist?
No, I would use different sizes.
Oh, cool.
Can I finish, Jay? Can I
Yes,
finish?
last one. That was not good. I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, you just kind of went. You did your
I
own
did.
little
I'm
thing.
sorry. I had to.
Like what?
That's a good question. I got some more, but I'm gonna let you go on that one so we can finish up. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. Let's look. We gonna arch it. I'm trying to throw them different ones at different times. Okay, Denzel or Wesley Snipes.
Denzel.
Okay, Dave Chappelle or Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Hey.
Okay, all right. Let's get it. Look. Let's see what he do. Janet Jackson or Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
Oh, she's an entertainer.
Okay.
Yes,
Puff Daddy or Jermaine Dupri.
Who?
Puff Daddy or Jermaine Dupri. Huh? Okay. All right. And my last one, who is the thoroughest rapper coming out of Connecticut?
Do they have rappers in Connecticut?
Oh,
Kitty Boys.
I don't know no rappers in Connecticut.
oh.
All right, that's
So
it.
that's it. We ain't gonna go ahead. Okay, Tiana Teller, you ain't gonna hit her. No.
She's not a rapper.
She does. She claims it, but I'm not gonna go there.
She's dope though. I like her though. She's dope.
Oh, do you?
Dope.
Do you? Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay, now you can finish up. I just threw that like curveball in, but he was forthcoming. Thank you. And a lot of times people pause, but you was kind of like, you know what you like, and it's like,
I know what I like.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, the Michael Jackson one threw me off because most musicians they pick Prince because of music. You know what I'm saying? Instrumentation.
I love Prince too. But Michael
I know. I'm like, it's hard to choose between.
He made a bigger impact than Omni though.
Yeah, because I know, like for myself, I like Michael Jackson because of performance and the impact globally, and I know like some of his biggest moments. It was a part of my life. So me sitting in front of the television, seeing the world premiere of Thriller, that was a family event. Like, yo, Thriller coming on, Thursday is coming on. And it's like, Thriller's coming on in 2 hours. The Thriller's coming on in 20 minutes. And it was like, yo, you see Thriller? And then they back to back to back. And I watched all of them. Like, and then we learned the moves. And then it was like, oh, look at that. And then, hip hop, we incorporated the joint into it. So it was like, it was kind of real fly. But, as far as, some of the other things, those are just very large ones. Because, like, for me, I don't think anyone can not say, like, even yourself saying, no, I'm not really into sports. But Michael Jordan has transcended sports as well as LeBron. But some people, for instance, would look at Michael Jordan's politics and be like, nah, I like LeBron because they stand with his politics. Whereas some people don't like the new age athlete saying shut up and dribble and say, nah, I like Mike because he really kept quiet about those things. So it's just a person's particular preference and things like that. And sometimes, people want to explain, I'm like, you don't have to. You'd be like, I like red. Like, you don't got to explain that. Like, I like this color and this is how I like it and understand that. So that was good. Jay, did you have yours, your little bootleg stuff? Because you just kind of threw me off in mine. I was like, whoa.
I'm so sorry. I just had to ask that about the wood. I just had just a couple more questions before we go. If you got just a couple more, a little bit more time, I do. And it's still about drumming. And it's something that you never hear drummers talk about, but they have to deal with it. Like
Breaking
But you're
sticks.
playing the like no when you're playing the drums and you get cramps. You know what I mean? When you're it was like top 7 things. You got a wet seat, like your seat is wet from playing so hard on the drums. Bleeding, I did not even think about it. Like when you're playing and you're cracking your knuckles or the wood chips, like those are things and nuances I never thought about, as being a drummer, or itching, having to change clothes, or you got pit thing. Like what are some of the nuances as a drummer that you had to deal with, or nobody even really talked about, but it kind of happened?
For me, cramping sticks, that happened to me before, but then it was because my sticks I was using were too small. So, I did deal with that. I dealt with calluses on my fingers, so I had to tape my fingers, up. I never could wear gloves because I had to physically grab the stick. I tried gloves one time and it's like, nah, this ain't gonna work. But as far as sweaty, oh yeah, you're gonna deal with all that. Is this, have a change of clothes after. Don't hug nobody till you're done.
For sure.
Right, but that's pretty much it. That I
Okay.
dealt, as far as that part.
What size stick do you use?
A 5B extreme.
5B. Oh God! So you're using them thick sticks, all right? So you don't want them. You bang hard so they don't break.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Because my one of my good friends, he's a drummer, and he was like, "Yeah, I've got these beginner I think the ones at his church, they just bought a bunch of them, and he was like, yeah, these are cheap sticks," and I was like, "What you mean
I thought
cheap
a stick was a stick.
Like I was like, "What do you mean cheap sticks?" He was like, "Yeah, like if I really had to play in the church or whatever, and we had a service, I'm gonna break at least 2 of these," and I'm like, "You can break I'm feeling like you can break these," and he was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta," and then when he started going up, he said, "You got real thick ones," and I was like, "It feel like Great Adventure little baseball bats out there," and I was like, "All right, man." Then I asked him, I said, but that's why I didn't ask that question because I already knew it. I was like, "Well, why didn't you go to metal sticks?" And he was like,
Metal sticks? Why would you use metal sticks?
Because some people do.
It's like kindergarten, like playtime. That's what it sounds like to me.
And they were saying certain sticks give off a certain sound. So when he said like metal sticks real hard, like it doesn't really flow. He's like, maybe if you was in a rock metal band or something like that. He said maybe.
Oh wow.
And he wasn't even like guaranteeing that. He was like, that's not what real.
I didn't know they made metal sticks.
Yeah, and he said, certain sticks, and he's like, they have different woods, and that's why we asked him. I was like, never knew. And when you said mahogany, I'm like, wouldn't that be the most expensive? Because I know what mahogany goes for with furniture. Are there any more expensive sticks, or what I would say is brands versus the wood? Versus the wood texture. Brand of sticks.
There's different brands, that cost different prices. I haven't bought sticks in so long. That I think I can't even tell you what a pair of sticks go for.
Stop for a second, because you just said something, sparked something. Why haven't you ever bought sticks? Because someone else said this.
Yeah, well, because you buy them either the tour will buy them, or if you're endorsed, they give you the sticks.
Gotcha. You said that because what happens is he was like, you get endorsed, and I was like, what? He was like, yeah, they'll use these sticks in X, Y, and Z, and I was like, I had no idea until the gentleman said that, and I was like, endorsed. And then I thought about like clothing, which you wear on stage, things like that. And I was like, I don't think anybody's going to let you wear anything else, because I know when Puffy was doing his tours, everybody was wearing Sean John. It was almost like a Sean John.
Right.
I thought like, oh no, yeah, it's my toy, but you're gonna wear this because it's cool.
All right.
Thank God it was fly. But I said, what if you got a clothing line and they was on some BS and be like, yo, I ain't wearing that.
Right.
So that was cool. All right. Well, you know what? Yeah, go ahead. Go, Jay.
Yep. I was just saying before we leave off of here today, before we go, just wanted to know, where can we find you? Do you have anything going on now? Do you got anything going on in the community, or what you got going on? What can we tell our listeners?
Man, we regrouping some things. Starting some new avenues as well. But you can find me on social media under Big Mike Clemons, BIGMIKE CLEMONS.
One M.
One N.
One M.
O-N-S, not M-E-N-S.
Yeah.
So it's basically lemons with a C in front. That's what I tell people.
Oh, right.
Facebook, Instagram, and then my personal page, Michael Clemons. You can find me on there. But we're just, we're gonna do a back to school drive here as well. But we're just trying to, change generational wealth is what we're on. Really trying to,
Right.
show our kids how to do this. I'm gonna leave them with stuff, and and I think a lot of times people don't really concentrate on that. It's all about me.
Gotcha.
And we want to be able to, leave them with
All right. So we got the back to school, doing generational wealth. Anything else you want to tell our listeners before they go about success or whatever they're
I
trying to
got one
get
question,
into?
Big Mike. I got one question.
No, we gotta go.
No,
I gotta go.
Yeah. Look. One gotta go. Drake, Usher, Lil Wayne, Chris Brown, Tupac, or R. Kelly. Which one gotta go? No, this on his page.
None. No, he said he gotta go.
Oh, my bad. No, this was on his page.
Oh.
Oh.
This is something he put up. What are you talking about? This my question. It's his question. He ain't answered.
I'm not.
Oh, you still
He's
not gonna
not.
answer? I got you.
All right. Well, we're going to set it on now. This is Jason. They coming from KROSS BARZ. We're going out here. You can find us KROSS BARZ. You can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us on our website. Thanks again, Mr. Clemons. We thank you so much, for blessing our show this evening. Keep doing what you're doing this afternoon. Keep doing what you're doing. Peace.
Blessings to you. I appreciate it.